You've tuned into the Relationship Therapy Podcast with Tony Miller Sr., a podcast designed for couples who are married, couples who are dating, and have marriage in their future. We will guide you to the principles that will make your relationship better. Stick around. You might just learn something that will help your relationship last longer, grow stronger, and become healthier. Now, here's your host, Tony Miller Sr.
Hello, everybody. This is Tony Miller Sr., your host of the Relationship Therapy Podcast. I am enjoying teaching you this series that we have called Building Trust in Relationships. And in these particular episodes that we've already gone over, we've emphasized what is the importance of trust in a relationship. And last week, we talked about the execution of building relationships. There must be a strategic strategy, an intentional strategy about building trust in your relationship. We've talked about foundations. We've talked about commitments and also consistency. We've talked about rhythm in relationships, and we've even talked about rhythm in communication in these relationships. And we're going to finish it up today. And I'm just excited that you've joined. I thank you for being a part of this episode. This is one episode I don't believe that you'll ever forget. So let's get going. The title of this episode is The Execution of Building Relationships Continued. We're going to continue what we started last week so that we can find out the execution of building relationships. So let's keep going. Here's what we're going to look at in this particular episode. We're going to look at the final 3 executions of building relationships. So here we go. Number 1, we have to realize that trust is built slowly. More times than not, we find ourselves caught up in a deep part of a relationship where foundations of trust have not been built. That's when we're moving too fast in a relationship. I know that your feelings are rushing through you and your emotions are all over the place and you feel like you may even be in love with that person. But here is a hard fact for you to handle. Trust takes time to build. Pause. I'm going to pause right there and just let you hold that because I'm going to repeat it. Trust takes time to build. Like the old saying, Rome wasn't built in a day. Trust in a relationship is not built in a day. It takes time to build, and trust is built slowly so that it can be secure. How can you gauge whether you can trust that person without following the guidelines of the commitment and consistency we talked about last week? The relationship has no development of trust because it's moving too fast and because it's brand new. It takes time. If the relationship itself takes time, don't you realize you need at least that amount of time for the trust to be built also? Too often we rush into something that looks good or it feels good at the beginning, but you haven't gone through the process of building the trust that's needed to help it sustain. That's why it seems like every man that you get involved in breaks trust with you. That's why it seems like every woman that you start going out with breaks trust with you because you haven't established something important in the relationship. Trust. Building trust takes time. It is because you haven't established that certain thing that helps relationships last. If you don't establish those certain things in relationships, you're never really going to have the type of relationship that you're looking for or what you want. In other words, you're always going to have chaos in your relationships. Now, I know no one wants to hear that, but the evidence proves it over and over again. When you get to the point of realizing that building trust takes time, you will learn to slow down and allow the foundation to be built. When the foundation is built, then you can start building up on it. You have to learn to take it slower in the relationship. There will be some quick relationships. I know somebody say, well, I knew my significant other and we've lasted 30 years, 25 years, 20 years. And that might be true for some, but the majority will tell you that relationship trust is built slowly and over time. And we don't want you to rush into anything. It takes time. There was a song that I enjoyed way back in the day, and I even enjoy today, by the SOS Band. It said, take your time and do it right. So I'm going to say to you today, take your time and build it right. Build it knowing that giving and receiving trust takes time to build. Now, I know I took a lot of time there, but it was so important that we understand that building trust, it must go slow. But then here's the second point for tonight. Please express your problems honestly. When I say express your problems honestly, I mean it starts first with admitting that there is a problem. So many people want to cover up that there are issues within their relationship, and all that does is explodes and it expands. And the next thing you know, that the little problem that you had is now 10 times larger because you denied it. Why is it so much larger? Because we have been letting the little things go in relationships and not been honest, or better yet, not trustworthy within the relationship. You're not expressing to your significant other what's bothering you. More often than not, we always get this question, are you okay? And we'll say, I'm okay. But typically this comes from men because we genuinely hate drama and confrontation. However, women are just as bad as playing that everything is okay card. Let's be honest, because that opens doors to mistrust. When we don't share what's on our heart, what's on our mind, it opens doors to mistrust. It may start out small, but like I said earlier, it can grow to be 10 times larger than what it originally was. When your significant other sees that there is a problem and it has grown bigger, it gives them a sign that you've got some mistrust in you. And we do not want to be dishonest with our mate, because when we are dishonest, it opens the door to being untrustworthy. Once that happens, questions arise on whether you can be trusted or not, whether they can believe what you're saying or not, or believe where you're going or not. You please express your problems honestly. You don't have to come full force with them, but discuss them in a way that it is more receptive and without some of the major drama that it could come. I've discovered with some couples, I tell them all the time, make sure, yes, this information has to be discussed, but make sure that you discuss it in a calm way in both places where you and your significant other are comfortable and able to receive it without it developing into chaos. Even the small doors of mistrust can begin to open it wider to full-blown not trusting you at all. Again, let me be transparent. I've been guilty in my marriage of holding things, especially early on. I would hold things and I would look at them and say, well, that's not a big thing. But like you say, these little things can add up to be big things. And when I hold them, instead of giving the information to my wife of what I was feeling, then it kept growing and growing. And I never actually trusted my wife to be able to handle those things and make the corrections if any corrections were needed. So I've learned that was very wrong of me. You don't want to miss opportunities to allow your trustworthiness to be showcased. I'm not saying start World War III by being honest and trustworthy, but you also have to trust that your spouse is able to deal with the information perfectly. And once you get to this level, it showcases that the deeper the relationship goes, that you can handle any conversation that comes up. You have to trust each other to be able to handle that. But then here's the final and third part as we talk about the execution of building trust. You have to place value on your relationship. What I'm sharing here is that for each individual to display to their significant other how important the relationship is to them. When your mate knows the value that you place on your relationship, it makes it easier for them to build trust in you. Every now and then, one of the individuals will place more value in their profession or their career instead of the relationship. This will cause a ripple effect in the heart of the other person because they say or saw something that pushed them to believe that you're being dishonest or they're not trusting their mate. This should compel everyone under the sound of my voice to make sure that they work extra hard at gaining their mate's trust, and you do that by placing significant value on the relationship. Some of the best relationships are between two people who equally value each other and also value the relationship itself. Nothing comes out of bad relationships because you are not placing significant value in it. It must be done. If you're allowing your mate to love you the way that you want to be loved, and you're loving your mate the way that they want to be loved, and we're going to talk about that later, maybe in season 2, as we talk about the love languages. But once you find that you're loving each other the way you're supposed to be loving each other, trust is a key factor in that. Let each other know that whatever comes up, we're going to work on it together. Togetherness in a relationship can put a whole lot of issues to flight, and you can eliminate some of the drama that goes along with those issues. When that takes place, you are headed toward some long, prosperous years as a couple. As I've heard it said before, when we make each other the main thing, our marriages will become a major thing. Don't you agree with me? That's all I've got. I thoroughly hope you've enjoyed these past 3 weeks as we've been talking about trust. I hope it's been a blessing to you and also your significant other. Here's something I want to say. Make sure you listen to these podcasts and share them with your significant other. If you can't listen to them together, make sure you share it with them so that you both are receiving the same things and you can hold each other accountable based off of you getting this information. And I hope that these points that I've brought to you about trust has been a blessing to you. If you disagree, that's fine. Contact me. And you can contact me at my email that the voiceover is going to give you, but you can also contact me at tmrelationshiptherapy@gmail.com or send me a message through Messenger on the Relationship Therapy Facebook page. All of this information will be down in the show notes at the bottom of our episode today. And remember, it takes two to make the relationship work. Bye, and I hope your marriage gets stronger.
Thank you for listening to the Relationship Therapy Podcast with Tony Miller Sr. We hope you have enjoyed this episode. Tune in next time for more insight on how to make your relationship better. If you have any questions, please email us at tmrelationshiptherapy@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. Until next time, remember, it takes two to make the relationship work.